A quote attributed to Winston Churchill is, "If you are not a liberal when you are in your 20s, then you don't have a heart. But if you aren't a conservative when you're in your 40s, then you don't have a brain." I think that quote is very applicable to the housing and homeless situation we find ourselves in here in Salt Lake City, Utah. Back in 2005, we were naive and we thought the very best solution to solve homelessness was to give free homes to the homeless. But now, perhaps a little older, perhaps a little less naive, we understand the situation is quite a bit more complicated than simply giving away free homes. On this episode of the Utah Stories program, we examine housing first. I was just out on Main Street producing a story for our November issue of Utah Stories magazine, talking to business owners on the street, and I was asking them basically just what the city could do to help them and their businesses. They all said their biggest problem right now are the homeless camping out on Main Street, the homeless doing drugs on Main Street, the homeless accosting their customers. And what this is really the result of, as I point out in the article, is the homeless have been winning victories thanks to the ACLU. I guess if you are on the left, this can be considered a victory for human rights, civil liberties, that the homeless are now permitted basically to camp on the streets, on the sidewalks, if the shelters are full, as they are in Salt Lake City at the moment. However, this begs the question, at what point does a homeless person's right to camp trump a business owner's right to make a living? Because if you're running a business and your customers start becoming afraid to enter your neighborhood due to being accosted by homeless people, such as the case I found with Omar, who runs 3 businesses on Main Street, why should a homeless person's right to camp supersede your right to own and operate your business? Of course, this is a highly divisive issue, but we hope to cover it with both compassion and pragmatism. What we want to be asking in this multi-part series are, what are the key performance indicators or the measuring sticks by which the city and state leaders are saying that homeless policy is working or not working? Because since 2017, we've invested hundreds of millions of dollars on homeless resources and housing units. As part of our in-depth series in homelessness in Utah, we would like to audit all the money that's been spent on both homeless resource centers and homeless housing units. So why should you care? And why is this important? Because there's an ever-increasing amount of city and state taxes going to homeless resources. Shouldn't we be measuring if this is working or not? Also, local businesses are indeed being threatened by homeless camping. Of course, we want to be compassionate to homeless people, but we want to also allow business owners to stay in business, especially the longtime locals who've been around for dozens of years. This is your city. Let's take ownership over it. You can help us out with this investigation by sharing this video, liking, and subscribing to Utah Stories digital newsletter. That way you can be notified for future installments and our updates to this story. Thanks for watching.